Sean, and today I'll be going through a program that I wrote that takes the radius and finds the area. Takes the radius of a circle and finds the area. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and execute the program. So I just click the green button there to run the program. Then I'm gonna type in, I'm gonna enter 1. First thing the program does is prompt me to enter a radius. Now this is a double variable, so I can enter 1 or I can enter 1.5. But I'm gonna just do 1. So for 1, the answer should be 3.14. Go ahead and test it out. So the program also has some error handling where it prevents the user entering a number less than 0 or entering 0. So I'm gonna go ahead and try that. I'm gonna run it. And I'm gonna try 0, and it should give me an error message in red that tells me that I can't enter 0. Right, and there you have it. Radius cannot be less than 0, or it can't be 0. So now I'm going to go ahead and explain what I did in this program. So I have 3 files that I use. I have a main.cpp, a circle.cpp, and a circle.h file, a header file. So in the header file, I just declared a class called circle. I'm going to go ahead and move on to it. I create a class, a circle class, a class called circle with two private members, one of a double data type called radius and a constant of a double data type with the value of pi. Now the reason why I created a constant, not just a regular variable, is because I don't want this during the program. I don't want this value to be altered at all. So to prevent this, the compiler will give me an error if I ever try to change pi. If I ever try to add anything to pi or subtract or any operation, it'll give me an error. I can only use this. Right. So then I used the public access specifier, and I called the constructor. Then I declared this is a function prototype to set radius, and I have a get radius to return the radius, and I have another definition, get area, that returns the area. So I'm gonna go ahead and move on to my circle.cpp, which is where I have the definition for this function right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to my circle.cpp. So the first thing I did in my circle.cpp was I used the pound include, and I included the circle.h file so I can access the class. Then upon include the IO stream for input operations like C in and C out. And then I created the constructor. First of all, in the constructor, I just assigned 0.0 to the radius. Now why I did this is I'm doing this because I want to prevent garbage from going into the variable. If I don't assign a value to it, the compiler will just put a random value in radius, a random W in radius, and I want to prevent that. I want to control what's going on in the radius. Then I move on to my set radius function. So the first thing I do is set the return type for the function, which is void. Then I have to use the circle with the scope operation, scope resolution operator. I think that's what it's called. And I have to use this so I can link this function to the class and let the compiler know that it's a definition of this prototype right here. Then this function takes a parameter of a double data type called user radius. So this function starts here, and it first prompts, as we seen when I executed the program, it first prompts me to enter the radius of a ring. Then it stores whatever the user enter in user radius. Then it moves to the if statement, which does some error handling, which we saw in execution, which prevents me from entering 0 or less. So in the if statement, the condition statement says the condition is if the user radius is greater than 0, then it will move to this block of code right here, and it will assign the user radius. This is what the user just entered to radius, the private member function of the class. So the private member function will now hold the value of whatever the user entered, and it will override this. Then, if the user did try to enter a value less than 0 or 0, then this error will be printed, and the function will stop. This is why the exit function is for. It exits the program. And that's all for my circle.cpp. Then I'll move on to my main. In my main, I'm also upon including a IO stream again for CI and CN. Well, just C out on this file, and then I'm including my class header file, so I can create an object or create an instance from the circle class. And I'm also including the IO manip, so I can manipulate output. It's used for the fixed and set position, so I'm working with doubles or floating numbers, so I want to control the amount of decimal places, and I set it to 2. So my main function starts here. The first thing I did was declare a radius, because first thing I did was declare a radius. Then I created an object, a ring object, using the circle class. So the first thing, so this line right here, this declaration right here, will run the constructor, and then it will assign 0.0 to the radius, this private function, this private variable right here. Then I go ahead and I access the set radius function in the class, and we already talked about what this function did. This function, it prompted me to enter a double, then it checked if that double is an acceptable value, and then it assigned that value to the private member function radius right here. And after all of that is done, the main function, it just use the IO manip and set it to fixed. Then it's use the set precision to 2, so I only have 2 decimal places. Then the next CI statement, it just prints our area, a text to define what the data that is printed out is, and the square units. And that's all it does. I'm gonna run it one more time. I'm gonna use a different value. I'm gonna use 10 this time. I get 3.14. I'm running it again. I'm gonna use 100. So again, I'm running again. I'm gonna test it to see if I can use a negative 100, and I should get a C error right here in red.